Hello and welcome to my channel. Inspired by my travels around the world and this time to Puerto Rico, I decided to paint something with all the blues and the greens that I saw in Puerto Rico, and I brought back these beautiful photographs from there by a local photographer, and I think they were gorgeous. So this has been in my mind. So I decided that I wanted to capture this in an impressionistic manner using watercolors. So does that sound beautiful, wonderful, exciting? Well, I don't know. This is an absolutely easy way that you can paint anything that you see rather than focus on how to use the paints, what kind of brushes, and getting into all those details. So, this is a really beautiful example of how I would like to paint the image of Puerto Rico, the journey through the heart of Puerto Rico with this watercolor painting. It's an easy one. I've used a square sheet of watercolor paper for this, and as you can see, I'm just laying the paints in a very light values, letting the paints actually mix and mingle on the paper. The whole idea in this endeavor is to use all the possible blues and greens that your paint will lift from your palette, but making sure that we are adding in those little warm colors so that it gives that pop of interest. I'm adding the river. I wanted an element of water in the painting, so I'm adding the river on the right side of the painting and picking up the greens and picking up the lightest of the values and sort of marking where I would love the water to be, the mountains, the sky, the trees, and then I come in and add the darker values. So it's a very easy way of painting where you're just going to capture the main elements of what you see in a picture or what you have in mind. So focus on what you actually, what got you to actually paint what you're painting. So it's the water, it's the color, and also the way you lay down your composition. So once these lighter colors have settled, I'm going to add in the warm colors. Now the whole idea is to create a beautiful, attractive painting. And you can see that I'm switching between the round brush, the flat brush, and a tiny tip brush to make my markings. It starts off very simple and easy and actually continues to be so as we paint. So I'm lifting off some reds, yellows, letting them sit next to each other while the paints will bleed one into another and create all kinds of beautiful hues. So in the process, I've created a purple, a violet. Just go with whatever colors you are able to lay there and let them mix. So I'm just giving the whole interest on that side of the paper because I want all the colors to pop in over there while I keep the upper portion of the painting very light and so as the area where I've marked for the water. So follow along, and this is absolutely wonderful for anyone beginning watercolors. You can just play around with it. It's a beautiful way to evoke the rhythm of paints, water on the paper. I'm also adding in some trees. The echo of the trees in the distance that actually comes up when you add the greens is beautiful. It's just that fleeting moment. It's the fleeting image that's there in my mind that I'm trying to capture. And these colors that I've laid down there are actually the rooftops of the buildings under a beautiful tropical sky. I also wanted to add the narrow streets that were pulsing with music, but I couldn't add all those details in this painting. And it's almost going to be the reflection of that dreamlike beauty that is there of Puerto Rico in my mind. You can do this for any travel or even where you live. You can find inspiration just on your walks and enjoy the beauty of the colors, capturing the entire composition with very simple strokes and markings. So I hope you enjoy this, and I encourage you to try this out with any picture, in fact, as long as you have a contrast of colors and soft colors, light colors, changing up the values, you can achieve something like this in no time. And don't be afraid to lay the colors directly from the palette onto the paper without much of planning. There are no outlines except the outline of what I drew initially was where I wanted to know where the clouds are going to be and the water is. At this point, I wanted to introduce the Payne's Gray, a really dark color, to um, highlight the mountains over there and stroking it with my flat brush from one side to the other. So watch and paint something similar, or use this technique and apply it to any of your imagination of images or your travel inspired photos, and you can create something as attractive, as simple, yet very, very therapeutic and calming for anyone to begin with. So let's go with a river and get some details in there. I'm using the same flat brush and just marking very lightly the ripples on the water. So I hope you enjoyed this painting, and you will see at the end of it that it turns out to be quite an attractive painting, almost giving you probably a doubt, leaving you with a doubt whether it's watercolor or acrylic. But that's the beauty of watercolor, that you can actually paint really opaque or you can go really transparent. So with that note, continue watching. I hope you love the content that I put up, and let me know if you like florals or landscapes, and I'm going to paint them. I'm also going to be painting some fun animals and creatures in the near future. For now, thank you for watching, and please do consider subscribing if you like what you're watching.